Hey everybody, welcome back to another Raspberry Pi Foundation's digital making at home video. I'm Mr. C and this is my sidekick Zach. Say hi bro.
Hello.
Cool. So today we're going to be working in BlocksCAD because Zach loves a bit of 3D printing. So today Zach's going to show you how to use BlocksCAD. So you can get there by going to blockscad3d.com. And opening up a project there. And what we can do is we're going to make a keyring today. So we're going to put a bunch of letters together. We're going to make some 3D text. We're going to join them all into one piece. Because when you're 3D printing, if the things aren't joined, you're going to get lots of different segments and they'll all fall apart. They won't stick together. And we're going to show you how to do that now. Ready?
Yep.
Yeah, so I'll switch over to our screen and I'll pass over to Zach so that he can drive. All right, buddy, you ready? So, working in BlocksCAD, if you haven't seen our other videos on BlocksCAD before, I'll just get Zach to give you a quick tour. So show them where the rendering space is, mate, where it shows us what our shapes are.
If you see on here, if you press 3D shapes, you go onto that. If you press render.
Yeah, and it makes our shape in the middle.
Yeah.
Awesome. Cool. So get rid of that and we'll make our 3D text now. That's cool. So render again and it will clear it out for us because there's nothing in there. Awesome. So it works exactly like Scratch does, everybody. So you can come across to your menu on the left there. So grab a 3D shape, Zach. Grab 3D text for now, because that's what we're going to work with today. So under 3D shapes. That's it. And you want... oh, no, it is under text, isn't it? You're right. Well done, man. So grab 3D text and drag it in. So from the grey text menu, we're going to pull in our 3D text block. And you'll see that it's got those things on the right-hand side that are clipped in. So where it says ABC, that's the text we're going to put in. That's what we want it to say. Size is the font size that we have in it. And thickness is how many millimeters thick the writing will be. So put some text in there, man. What do you want it to say?
My name.
You want to say your name? Okay, cool. Cool. Awesome. And then you can change the font. It can be in caps if you want, mate. It doesn't really matter. You prefer caps? Yeah. Cool. And then so you can change the font if you want, Zach. So from Roboto, you can change it to something else. Do you want to pick something different? Yeah, Chewy, and then pick centered as well. So centered will just make sure that our whole word is centered on the datum of our axes there. So click render now. And we should get our shape. It'll take a little second to come through. It's going to load the font and then it's going to try and render our shape. Just takes a little second to come through. Here we go. Now it's rendering and there it is. So if you click with the left mouse button and drag around like Zach is doing now, you can see it moves our plane around so that we can see things a little bit better. And the font Zach has picked there is called Chewy. And you can see because we've centered it, it's sitting directly in the middle of all of our X, Y, and Z axes. So Zach's just going to change the font now. So click render again, mate, to show them how it's changed. Okay, it takes a little second, there we go. And so that's a slightly different font again. All right, and you can change the color of your word, can't you, Zachy? How do you change the color?
Go to the square down here and
yeah.
You can choose your colors.
You happy? Yeah, you want to make it red? Fantastic. And so is that going to make any difference to when we print it? The color that it is on the screen? No, it doesn't, does it? What makes a difference to the color it comes out on our 3D printer?
Whatever color plastic you have, it will come up that color.
Exactly. So depending on the color filament you have at home, that's what color it will print when you go to run it through your printer. So we changed the color here just in case you wanted to have a bunch of different letters, or if you're working with different shapes, it's easier to recognize what the separate shapes are when you make them different colors. So Zach, you can make it any color that you want today because it's all going to be the same thing. So now that we've got this shape sort of set up, that's really cool, but it's all one thing and it makes it kind of hard to move the letters in and out together. So what we're going to do is we're going to take that 3D text and we're going to duplicate it a few times. So duplicate it there, cool, pop it underneath. And then before we go any further, go to Set Ops and grab Union and drag that in. Awesome. So pop that down. Cool. So you can duplicate those again. So make sure that they're one letter in each. So the first one should be a big Z. Just a big Z in the top one. Just a big Z. And the next one should be a big A. And so whatever word you're doing, we're going to make each individual letter of your word in each one of these 3D text blocks. So duplicate that again, Zach. What's the next letter? C. Cool. So Zach's just zooming out a little bit so that we can see these blocks a bit easier. We can see them all together. Right, so grab your union now, Zach. Start plugging blocks into the union. So put that all the way up the top, all the way in the top corner. That's it. Next one, cool. You click the little blue plus in your union block to add more spaces to stick blocks in. So click it now. Fantastic. And we just start plugging those in one at a time. There we go. Excellent, man. You're getting pretty smooth at driving it now. So we've got Zach. Oh, almost. That's it. And then one last one, which will be our big I. So you can see that Zach spelled his whole name out, one letter at a time, and he joined all them inside of our big purple union by adding the right number of pluses so that we've got all those slots. So now when we click render, it's going to render each of those letters individually. And something weird is going to happen when we do it. It's going to look a bit strange, isn't it, Zach? But that's okay, because we're going to fix that straight away afterwards. So render it now, Zach. And you'll see that what we've got is all of the letters, because they're all rendered individually, so you can grab one and drag it away to show people. Right? Oh no, we can't drag in this, can we? We have to use what? How do we move them? Do you remember what it is that we use to move them? What's the mathematical word for moving a shape? Or turning it, twisting it? They're those robots in disguise. They become cars. What do we call them? All those robots that become cars. Transformers. Fantastic. So we go to Transforms, which is our dark blue menu, and we see one called Translate. So Translate is what you do with a 3D shape when you move it around one of the axes. And we want to move our shapes along the x-axis. So if you grab it now, Zachy, that's it. And we're going to plug it into your top block is going to plug into your Translate. So plug it into your union and pop your Translate block back in there. Fantastic. Okay. And so that one, we'll keep it at X, Y, Z in the center. So grab another Translate and plug it into your second one. Oh, almost. Wait for the little green flash. So you see the green, down a bit, down. Go down. There it is. There's the green line. That means it plugs in, and the next one plugs in there. Fantastic. Now in that X block there, I want you to write the number 10. Second one down, man. Use the second one down, because the first one will keep it where it is. So we don't need a Translate block for the first one, but it's nice for uniformity to have it. And in case we do want to move it later, we don't have to play around with it. And what will the next one be for your C? So down a little bit more, wait for the green line, there it is. And then the next one will be 20, fantastic. So while Zach's doing that, I'll explain what he's doing. So each one of these Translate blocks that he's now adding, we're going to take that first letter, and it stays at 0, 0, but his second letter A, we're going to take it from where it is, and you can see in our screen there in the render space that they're all one on top of the other. So we're going to take that A, and we're going to move it across the x-axis 10 millimeters and put it back down. Then we're going to take the C, and we're going to move it 20 millimeters and put it back down. We're going to take the K and move it 30 millimeters and put it back down. And we're going to do that with every one of our letters so that it draws it and then shifts it along that line, and it will make it into our word again so that we can see the individual letters one at a time. Once we've got our translates in place, like Zach has just done now, down a little bit more, mate. Down, there it is. Wait for that green line. That shows you where it's going to go. And then we plug it in. So just like Scratch has the glow around the hole, with this one here, we've got those green lines. We make that 40. Oh, that's it. And then the last one will be 50. And now we're going to play with these numbers a little bit until we get them lined up the way that we want them. So render that again, Zachy. Bang, there we go. So that's interesting, right? So maybe what we could do is go through and change your font size a bit. Maybe you want to change your font and make it a little bit bigger. Or we can just mess with the distance between the letters again and move them all back closer. What do you want to do?
Move them back closer.
Move them closer. So let's play with our X translate again. So maybe bring that back down. So if you see that each one of those squares, so show everybody the distance between them. So you can see there that each of Zach's letters is on a different grid point, okay? That's because they're millimeter spaces. And this one here, that's a 10 millimeter space. So in our window there, between the Z and the A, Zach has 10 millimeters. So if you count across, Zach, how many little squares, you can zoom right in. Zoom right in. How many squares do we want to be able to join to our Z? We want to go 1, 2, 2 and a bit, isn't it? Maybe 3. So let's go to here and change our number to 3. Fantastic, and re-render. And we'll see that the A will move all the way back across. And look, now they're nice and joined up. And that's what we want. We want our letters to be touching at least one place. So you can see down the bottom there where Zach's Z and the A are touching and a little bit at the top, and that's perfect. So now count along how many more squares until we want the C to be in. Zach, you zoom back in. How many more squares do we want until it touches? 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 and a bit. So maybe make it 6 maybe, and we'll see how we go. And then re-render and let's have a look.
Could do 5.5.
Could do 5.5, yep. So you could even make that a little bit bigger if you wanted. You could maybe make it 7 and move the C out to get a little more of that curve showing in the back part. Let's render that again. Awesome. Still touching, still looking cool. So now let's move our K. we want our K to be probably about 9, I think. Awesome. We render. Oh, that's a bit too close. I got that one wrong. How far do you reckon we should move it?
11.
11, yeah. Try 11. And so you at home, you can be doing this too. There we go. That's excellent. That's really nice, mate. And so now what about your next A? So you at home, you can be doing this too. So playing with your numbers, getting them to be just right so that they all join up. And remembering that once you've made your shape, it doesn't matter how big the font is here in BlocksCAD or how big the shape is here, you can rescale it when you get to your printer software. So when we download our file at the end, you'll be able to take that file and resize it on your printer to make it as big or as little as you would like. And render. Awesome. And then the eye. So that's it. There we go. We want that to come down to, what do you reckon?
Let's try 20.
So if this is 20, this line here will be 20. So I'll just show everyone what I'm talking about. So this line here, we can see that's 10 and that's 20. So we want to go back how many do you reckon? What do you reckon? How many millimeters? So 20 take away 3 is?
17.
Let's try 17 and see how we go. And then render again. Not bad. Let's have a look. What do you think?
A bit
further away. Go for it, mate. What do you reckon? 18?
17.5.
Yeah, go for it. Oh, hang on a sec. You've got 117 there. There we go. 17.5. And then render.
That's good.
Oh, that's pretty good. Let's have a look. Is it touching is it touching enough? Let's have a look, because if there's any gap, oh, that's a tight one. I reckon let's make it 17 point something, a little bit smaller.
17.2.
Cool. And render. And that will show us. There we go. That's a much nicer, more solid join there, right? So remember, when you're 3D printing, everybody, you want them to have a good bit of join. If it's only got a tiny, tiny millimeter of join, it's likely that it might snap or fall apart, and we don't really want that to happen. We want to have a really nice looking shape. So that's really cool, and we can click our target to take us back to the initial place we were at. Right, and again, we can move our plane around and zoom in, all right, to have a look at Zach's awesome work. That's really cool, buddy. I like that. That's great. And so now let's play with the thickness of our letters. So the thickness right now, that's at 2, but you can go through and you can change the thickness to make some letters taller, some letters smaller. So let's go through your letters now and change the thickness on each letter. So let's have a look, man. You can change these numbers, and let's make them all a few different things, and we'll re-render again at the end. So down to thickness here. How thick should that one be? I can make the A a bit thinner. Make it thinner than the fat one. Yeah, cool. And then the C. How fat do you want that one? We can leave that one as 2 if you want. Leave it how it is.
Yeah.
And we can make this one a bit different, something a bit bigger. What do you reckon? 3. Let's change your A. How big do we want the 3? Sorry, we want the A to be. 2. Yeah, great. That's fine. And then the I on the end. How thick do you want that one? 4. Okay, so if you render it now, Zachy, and we'll watch it change all of your letter thicknesses. It'll make some of them thick and some of them skinny. Whoa. It's pretty cool. Are you happy with that, or do you want to change it a bit?
I'm happy with it.
You're happy with it? That's cool. And so when it prints, you'll see that some of them will be thicker than others, some of them will be thinner than others. And that's pretty cool. I quite like that. That looks great. And it gives it a nice definition on the I at the end as well, doesn't it? That's very cool, man. And so that, everybody, that's basically it. It's pretty simple, isn't it? So what we want to do now is we want to take our little Zakai word here, and we want to download that as an STL file, which is the kind of file that you feed into a 3D printer. So if you go to the end there, Zachy, and click Generate STL. Awesome. Well done. And it downloads our little file. There it is, keyring STL in the bottom right. And I can take that and I'll feed it into our 3D printer downstairs, and I'll record your words so that everyone can see it. That's pretty cool, right? Yeah. So if you want to have a go at this, you want to follow along with the instructions that we have on the project site, you can go to rpf.io/dm-keyring. That'll be here on the screen. You can see that link here. If you just follow that, you'll get all the instructions to the thing that we've just done, and you can follow them and make your own word. You can make a bunch of different things. There are some other projects on the website for 3D printing. We previously did the bug, didn't we? We did the bug video, and then a bit later on, I'll do a live stream with you for some 3D printing where we can make some really cool 3D repeated shapes, like spirograph style shapes, and we'll do some things that we can make like little medallions or really interesting sort of shapes and bits and pieces you can stick up around your house as decoration. So is there anything you wanted to add about 3D printing, man, or about what we did today? Is there any tips you want to give to people at home? Think we covered everything?
Yeah.
Cool. So keep following us, me and Zach, at rpf.io/home, along with the other members of the foundation team. We're going to be turning out content for you every single week, and we're moving into live streaming as well. So we're going to be on a live stream on Wednesdays at 2 p.m. If you want to come and follow along, you can watch me do some coding in real time on Twitch and YouTube, and on the rpf.io/home website, we'll have the video embedded as well. So if you do make something really cool as a project, please submit it to us. We love seeing the work that you make. We love sending it out on our social. And don't forget that Coolest Projects is coming up soon. So anything you make at home that's eligible to enter in Coolest Projects, you can come online, see what other people around the world in the UK and the US have made, and enter in that competition to maybe win some awesome prizes and get some really cool recognition for the great things that you're making at home. So remember, everybody, just because we're not all together doesn't mean we can't come to the same place and make really cool stuff together. So we'll catch you later. Should we go out and enjoy the sunshine today now, man?
Yeah.
Yeah, nice one. Catch you later, everybody. We'll see you next time.
Bye.
Bye.